France has said a reaction with force could be needed if Syria is proved to have used chemical weapons against its own people. The comments from Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius come as Syrian activists say hundreds of people were killed in such attacks in Damascus on Wednesday. The UN has asked Syria to allow UN weapons inspectors already in country to be allowed to investigate. There is no sign as yet that Damascus will allow this. The UN weapons inspectors are staying about 15 kilometers, 10 miles, from the site of the recent attacks, but only have a mandate to visit 3 sites previously agreed between the UN and the Syrian government. The UN said on Thursday that Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon believed the attacks need to be investigated without delay. He is calling for inspectors presently in Damascus to be granted permission and access to swiftly investigate the incident. The Syrian government has described the latest allegations as illogical and fabricated. The Syrian army said opposition forces had made up the claims to divert attention from the recent huge losses. Heavy shelling continued in the area, red lines crossed. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius told the French BFM TV channel that if the attack was confirmed, France's position is that there must be a reaction that could take the form of a reaction with force. He did not elaborate on his comments, but he did rule out the use of troops on the ground in Syria. The British Foreign Office said in a statement that the UK and 36 other countries had formally referred the latest allegations to Mr. Ban, and called for inspectors in Syria to be granted the necessary access to enable their investigation into these latest allegations as a matter of urgency. "We believe a political solution is the best way to end the bloodshed," said the statement, but added that Prime Minister David Cameron and Foreign Secretary William Hague have said many times we cannot rule out any option that might save innocent lives in Syria. Turkish Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu also stressed the need for action. "All red lines have been crossed, but still the UN Security Council has not even been able to take a decision," Mr. Davutoglu said. On Wednesday, the UN Security Council held an emergency session, after news of the attacks emerged. But the Council failed to agree on a statement condemning the attack. It was blocked by China and Russia, which have repeatedly backed the Syrian government since the crisis began. Russia did support calls for an investigation, but did so because it believes the opposition might have carried out the attack on itself, as premeditated provocation, in an attempt to win the backing of the UN. Foreign Ministry spokesman Alexander Lukashevich said Russia had an interest in the investigation into what happened objectively. The inspectors arrived in Damascus on Sunday with a mandate to investigate 3 locations, including the northern town of Khan al-Assal, where some 26 people were killed in March. The U.S. has expressed its deep concern over the latest claims and formally requested the UN to urgently investigate. The alleged attack comes a year after U.S. President Barack Obama warned the Syrian government that using chemical weapons would cross a red line. Disturbing footage. Opposition activists said that more than 1,000 people were killed after government forces launched rockets with toxic agents into the Damascus suburbs in the Ghouta region early on Wednesday. The BBC has been unable to independently confirm the death toll. Activists said Wednesday's attack took place as part of heavy government bombardment in the region surrounding Damascus, with government forces trying to drive out rebel forces. The areas affected included Erbil, Douma and Muadamiyah. Video footage showed dozens of bodies with no visible signs of injuries, including small children. Other videos show people being treated in makeshift hospitals, with victims, including many children, having convulsions. While it is not clear how many died in the bombardment of the sites and how many deaths were due to any exposure to toxic substances, experts say it would be almost impossible to fake so many dead and injured, including children and babies. Both the rebels and government forces have accused each other of using chemical weapons throughout the 28-month conflict. Syria is believed to have large undeclared stockpiles of mustard gas and sarin nerve agent. The government has implied it has chemical weapons, but said they would not be used against civilians.